Hello, I am Gregory the Poor Typist, and I have a Rocketbook hack for you. Yes, I am a big fan of the Rocketbook. I love them so much that I joined a Facebook group for Rocketbook users, and one thing they have been discussing in there is a way to make removable pages. And they're using disc binding, which is okay, but to me seems kind of bulky. And then some of them are even going to the extent of using a different brand of paper that can be erased and printing their own. But this hack is just something simple that you can do with the Rocketbook you already have, and it's a way to remove pages and be able to replace them as well. So you will need scissors. Don't be afraid. It's a very simple little hack here. And you will need either your friction pen or some other pointy device. I don't find myself using this one all the time, but I'm just using it here for a demonstration. And as a result, you'll see the page got stained because I left the ink on there too long. So what if I wanted to remove the page? Well, there you go. And I didn't tear it. That was planned. With the disc binding and also similarly Filofax, which I've actually been looking into, but I just love my Rocketbook so much. I figured, well, basically all it is you have a series of holes, whether it's a lot of holes or just a few holes, and then you have some slits. So it's kind of reminiscent of when in school you had your spiral bound notebook and you tore the page out and it had all the ragged edges, but we're gonna do it neatly. I mean, you could barely even tell that there's anything there. So all I did, I took my trusty pair of scissors, and you just make little slits just on the outside of each hole. And I did it just with the one page because this was just a test for me. I was curious to see if it would work, and it does. As you saw, taking it out is ridiculously easy. And for example, with this page that is stained, maybe I don't want to look at that every time I open my little Rocketbook. I can flip it over to the side that I haven't been using. So essentially what I did, I took off the spiral binding, which involves, you have these little parts that are bent in. You just bend those back out, and then you can very easily just rotate the spiral binding, and it'll come right out of the holes. It's actually very, very quick to do it. And then that's when you can make your individual cuts along each hole. You just quickly rotate it off, make your cuts, and then spiral it back on. And then you just have to bend in the edges again. And that kind of locks it on there so that this doesn't just spiral off, spiral back off your notebook. Now, the caveat is, because there are so many holes, it does take a little bit of effort to get it back on. So what I would recommend, the ones on the ends are pretty easy. You just press those back. You can do that a little bit just with your finger, but it can be a little tricky and frustrating. So that is where the pen comes in handy. And if you need to, you can, extend the tip Still a little bit tricky, a little bit time consuming. There. Now, of course, on a bigger notebook, it's going to take even longer, but it worked. So the page is back in there, and let me tell you, by you just pulling on it, I'm using considerable force, and you can even dangle it. I won't really be able to. I'm pulling it up in the air, and it's not coming off. But then you just do that. Comes right off. Anyway, that is my Rocketbook hack. You can make your own removable pages simply by taking off the spiral binding temporarily, making slits just on the outer edge of each hole. Putting your book back together and putting the spiral back on, which is very easy. And of course, being sure to bend in the ends. Yeah, so there you go. My little Rocketbook hack. Removable pages. And of course, they have different templates, so you can mix and match the templates. My Rocketbook of choice right now is the Rocketbook Fusion, and it has a few different templates in there. And if I decided I wanted to use something else, I could now take out the page, put in something else. Or if I decide I need more pages, you could add pages to it. Fewer pages, you could take pages out. Whatever you want to do, it's very easy to take the pages out now. So there you go, my little Rocketbook hack of removable pages. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.